Chuang Asia is finally back, and I'm so ready to review this. Not only have they increased the budget, but also probably brought the most interesting combination of judges they could get. And with only 7 debut slots on the line, I feel like this season is going to get really spicy. So let's get straight into it. Things are kicking off in Thailand, where all these 60 contestants are invited to this rooftop party. And we can already see some of the personalities. For example, who is a mood maker and who is rather quiet. Overall, I had the feeling that the Chinese trainees were a little bit more extroverted, while Japanese and Thai trainees were a bit more reserved and shy. Except for Ninja, of course. That dude seemed fun. I mean, it could also be because more than half of the trainees are Chinese somehow. Duh. So Tencent must have really been pulling strings behind the scenes, but let's leave that for another discussion. So after everyone arrives, they're given 30 minutes to showcase their talents on stage, basically. And each trainee has 3 stickers that they can give to the people they want to team up with. By the way, I really enjoyed this side story with Lucas and his muscles, because everyone was like, wow, so sexy. And then when they put the stickers, they put it on his biceps. And the editing was quite exaggerated. I mean, he is well built, but it's not like he has Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of arms, right? Yeah, I don't know. Please leave a comment in the section below. What do you think of why Lucas's arms? With that being said, episode 0 is coming to an end, and we are moving on to episode 1, where we start off with the mentor performances as always. And for me, there were 2 performances that really stood out. One is the 8 and his first live performances of Orbit. That stage really had some really sick vibes. And then actually, surprisingly, Jeff Satter. I mean, this man just killed the stage, and also these high notes. Can I just pick Jeff instead of the trainees? Overall, I think we have a really good mix of judges this season. Ariel Lin as guest judge just really kills it. She reminds me of watching these Taiwanese dramas in my childhood. And I also like the new ranking system, by the way. Having these pairs of 2, 2, 2, 2, with one pair focusing on vocals and one on appeal and emotion, and the 2 main judges focusing on dance and everything else. I mean, some might say that it's not fair because Bam Bam and the 8 have more power, but in the end, they're also the ones who really know what it takes to be in successful boy groups, right? Alright, moving on to the actual stages, we have the group with the 4 different nationalities, Dewey, Gordon, Hongjin, and Kohi. And I really like their choice, Welcome to the Show. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a coincidence that they really made the start of the new season, but the song really had its different tonalities and high notes, and it really suited them well as a vocal group to, showcase their whole range. For me, I liked Dewey and Hongjin the most. Dewey is actually a really skilled singer, and Hongjin has this cutesy, innocent vibe. But I also think the way they were editing Gordon, studying at Berkeley and wanting to have a perfect technique, but lacking in emotions and looking at the ground. I'm sure we will, see more of Gordon in one way or another. Next up, we have the First Blood group, which is Sean, David, KK, and Shen. I think their singing was not that great, but the choreo was nice. And since the first group had no dancing, it was nice to have a complete performance. Out of those 4, I would say that the one to watch out is obviously Xiong. You can see that he was well trained, the way he looks in the camera, and he's also a bit, I would say, too technical. Like he lacks a bit of this rawness and uniqueness. But with that being said, I think the judges are more strict than ever in this season. Like I'm pretty sure, like in previous seasons, Xiong would get an A here, but instead he got only triple B. At this point, everyone was like, oh, so how do we get an A actually? And that's also what Yu Chen was asking them after their performance. So the next group is Yu Chen and Wu Xun's group. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. I actually don't remember the other ones. Just Yu Chen being the musical actor guy who also played in the group matching show, and Wu Xun, who is from Tao's agency. He actually seems pretty charming and gets a lot of screen time. So I think they're setting up for his sort of improvement arc. Right now his dance is still pretty lame, to say the least. The fourth group of the night is Yao Zihao's group. And I'm actually not sure if he chose his teammates on purpose to shine even more himself. But it felt like the Zihao show somehow. As the others were quite mid and didn't really have much idol training. I think there were, for example, 2 rookies and 2 Kung Fu guys, right? And none of them were like really outstanding. But that being said, nonetheless, Zihao is really talented, good rapper, good dancer, and obviously has good stage presence. I think personally I would have given him an B for now, just to, humble his ego a little bit and have him work towards something. But obviously, objectively speaking, A seems justified. So now we come to my favorite group of the evening, which is SUPERTHAI. Man, and I was really impressed by the level of the Thai trainees this season. I mean, most of the people are now talking about Tio and Dorn, but I think Ninja and Tadali were also really good. And even the other 2, Peanut and Planktai, who basically got no screen time, were super solid, which you can see since all of them got straight Bs. But yeah, I mean, just look at that. Like, for that alone, Dorn deserves an A. And he is the hip-hop champ for a reason. As for Tio, I think he probably is my number 1 pick right now out of all trainees. I mean, not only are his vocals insane, but also he dances really well for a vocalist. Like in the performance, he was dancing with full energy while hitting these higher notes, which means, that he had really good training and good breathing technique and stamina. Trust me, you really need that. So yeah, I think this group definitely deserves all the praise they are getting right now, because I rarely seen a first show performance this good and this complete in any casting show. Last but not least, we have the 185 group and this whole controversy surrounding Omar. I somehow have the feeling that he will get an A, even though it wouldn't do him any good because it would only put pressure on him and also a target on his back. So let's see how this thing develops. And this basically concludes the review of episode 1. There are definitely some anticipated trainees and performances that you can look forward to. For example, the Japanese groups, but also, of course, Hu Ye Tao. So definitely stay tuned and subscribe to the channel, as I will be back for the episode 2 review. I'll see you there.